이커머스 사업가.
What's the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Last year we did 30 million.
$30 million.
32 million, yeah. And then we did around 19 million in profit.
How old are you now?
I'm 22.
You're 22 years old.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you became a millionaire?
Let me tell you something first, all right? Do you want me to go deep?
Yeah, go deep.
Okay. So when I was 5 years old, I witnessed my mom get, she died in front of my eyes. At 16 years old, my best friend got shot in the head. At 17 years old, I got kicked out of college. At 19 years old, I was a millionaire. So embracing the struggle, realizing that the struggle is what makes you you, is what's gonna help you get to where you wanna be. And realizing that the struggle is just preparing you for the person that you need to be to steward that is gonna help you. And realizing that, God does everything for a reason. Like, you might not understand it now. Your whole situation might be completely fucked up right now. But if you just see that bigger picture and you're able to work towards it, don't just sit there and pray, but work towards it and work on those prayers, you're gonna get there. It's only a matter of time, but you have to focus on your own race.
How can somebody go from 7 to 8 figures?
The biggest thing with going from 7 to 8 figures is trying to get out of that kind of like solopreneur mindset and thinking that you can do it all by yourself. Making $1 million, you can do it by yourself. It's not that hard. It might take you a little bit of time, but going from 7 to 8 figures, you need to start delegating and relieving your time. Because as an entrepreneur, you have to realize that your biggest asset is your time. And the most important thing for you to do is create ideas and then delegate those ideas to the workers. Because that's what the school system was built for the workers. Do you know the story about free thinkers and workers and why the school system was created?
Well, I think it's kind of had to do like the Rockefellers.
Exactly. John D. Rockefeller created the Education Board in 1903, and he said that he wanted a nation of workers, not free thinkers. So who are the workers? Who are the free thinkers? The workers are the people who work for the free thinkers, people who come up with their own ideas and then delegate them for a fraction of the money. And then they go and do the work for the free thinkers and make them the big money. So once you get from that 7-figure mark and you're trying to get to 8 figures, find people who are smarter than you. I dropped out of college. I'm not the smartest in the group, but I have people who work for me who went to Yale. I have a person who worked for me who went to Stanford. My CFO went to Harvard. So it's about being able to pay people what they're valued at so that you can get what you want in return.
And what keeps people broke in today's world?
Mindset. It's 80% mindset and 20% skill set. Once you get the mindset, now it's time to apply the skill set. But you can't start thinking about making money until you are in the mind to learn how to steward that money and multiply that money. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to get more. Majority of people, if I gave you $1 million right now, you would be broke in 6 months. Not because you're stupid, it's because you don't have the mindset to steward that money and you don't know what to do with it when you get it. But if you have the skill set and you have the mindset, then you're bound to turn that into 10 million in 6 months.
That was phenomenal.
스트릿 클럽 사업가.
What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
I've been in every industry and I've done everything. I ended up owning a large strip club, the largest strip club in Connecticut. I'm also a certified gemologist, precious gems. I had high-end jewelry stores. I also had a gambling ship on the west coast of Florida. I owned a major motion picture movie studio, the biggest east of the Mississippi River.
How can somebody get a yacht in today's world?
Buy one.
Buy one. If you were to go back in time and have a conversation with your 20-year-old self, what's the best advice that you would give to your younger self?
Stephen Jobs said it beautifully, and I love what he said. And what he said was this: you could have a Timex watch, you could have a Rolex watch. They will both tell you the right time. And then he also said you can get somewhere in your Rolls Royce, or you can get somewhere in your little Volkswagen, which maybe costs $1,000, but they will both still get you there. And that to me is the smartest thing anybody could ever say. So it's not a question of money, it's a question of the way you are, the way you treat life, the way you treat yourself, the way you treat others. And me personally, I love everybody, and everybody knows that.
What's your best self-improvement advice to somebody out there?
The best thing I could tell anybody is, you know what? When you hit bottom, the only way to go is up. Okay, so you can hit bottom, but then from there you go up and start going to the top.
And have you ever been broke before?
Of course. Who hasn't been?
And what was that turning point like for you? Like how did you know that you wanted to become serious about really becoming successful and finding that success?
You know something? There's an old saying, I think it was done by Caesar or somebody, but it says, know thyself. You got to know yourself. You got to know what's good for you, what's not good for you. Use your brain. Use the brain that God gave you.
엔터테인먼트 사업가.
What was the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
About $25 million.
$25 million. How long have you been a business owner for?
Business owner since the age of 18.
How old are you now?
56.
You're 56 years old. Actually. What's the secret to looking so young at 56?
Yeah, I'm not going to say olive oil.
Yeah.
Just a good life and keep it simple.
Let me ask you this. If you were to go back to when you started your first business, what's the number one thing that you wish you would have known?
Go to school.
Go to school.
Education.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a better education. If I had a better education, I'd be a lot further along, a lot younger. That's the best advice advice I can give you.
So you say that a college degree is kind of necessary to be successful.
College degree is definitely not necessary to be successful, but it gives you the tools to make better decisions.
Right. Now, I guess among yourself and the most highly successful people that you study and know, what is that one trait that they all have in common?
Risk. Take the risk. You can't take the risk, you're not going to get the reward. That's what it comes down to.
Take the risk or lose the chance.
Exactly.
What was the biggest risk that you took throughout your career?
Everything I've done, make a leap. Believe in yourself. Take that chance.
Now, have you ever been broke before?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
100%.
And how old were you when you became a millionaire?
24.
How did you find that self-belief, though, to be able to do all these amazing things, right? Because a lot of people, they'll doubt themselves.
That is one denominator we just can't teach. You have to believe in yourself, and if you don't have that belief, because we need people that don't believe either. We need those guys who are going to turn and crank the shafts and, turn those wheels.
Yeah.
So they can't all be winners.
헬스케어 사업가.
What's the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
10 million.
$10 million. Among yourself and the most highly successful people that you study and know, what is that one trait that they all have in common?
I will tell you one thing, man. One thing these people all have in common. Sometimes, man, they're not that bright. I don't know. They're crazy and so forth, but they're all hungry as hell. It's insane. It's like they're crazy to a point. They're all super hungry. It's like, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and they execute. It's not no BS. Like they'll execute on their craziness. So I'd say hunger and actually executing on it. But hunger, the first thing. These guys don't stop scheming and thinking of how they're gonna get to the next level and all. It's insane.
Have you ever been broke before?
Jesus, yes. Yes. Like, yes. People having to donate food to my family, for a couple of weeks, I know what that's like.
What was the number one book that changed your life or number one book that changed your business?
As an entrepreneur, you're going to be really surprised, especially to certain sections of this book. And some of you already know what I'm going to say. It's the Bible, bro. It's the Bible. The amount of entrepreneurs in that Bible is insane. Don't go read the Spirit. I'm talking about just, even if you don't believe in God or whatever, just go read on the entrepreneurship lessons, man. It's insane. And then, you got other books that will, I think, complement even the Bible, like Think and Grow Rich, and, absolutely. But I start and end always with the Bible.
How important has that faith been to the success of your business?
Oh, that's everything. That's everything. This wouldn't have happened without that. This wouldn't have happened without my faith, without the woman that I'm with, which is my wife for almost a decade. That's a whole different conversation. Those are the pillars, the spiritual pillars that have held up the person of, who I am. When the going gets rough, it's like, whoa, it's rocky. Like, who's here with me, and what do I hang on to? Yeah, it's my faith, it's my marriage, and then I have friends that have been with me for years, that I can always hang on to. So your circle of spiritual components has to be strong. Absolutely.
Last thing I want you to tell them, and I want you to look at them, and you got to tell them the importance of believing in yourself and your dream. Like, you never gave up. You had that vision, you had that dream, and you believed in it all along. Tell them.
So listen, if you're in doubt, man, and I wish I could just reach out to you, grab you by the face right now. If you're in doubt, do not doubt, bro. Do not doubt. Okay, you can do it. You can do it. There's a God that loves you, and if you have those goals and dreams in your life, you will get it. Listen, you have to build the confidence. For you to build the confidence, you got to hit the goals. For you to hit the goals, you have to design the timeline and the process to do it. Okay, and it's daily steps, daily promises to yourself. Don't break promises to yourself, or else you're breaking promises with the world around you and with your goals that you've set up. You want to hit those goals, discipline yourself to hit those daily goals to ultimately hit your big goal, and all of a sudden, you'll walk into a room and people will be like, wow, that person's full of confidence. Wow, that person, look at their watch, look at what they got. No, because daily they hit the promises that they promised themselves, and then they hit those goals they put at the end of their timeline. Go get it.
Hey, they don't teach that shit in school, you guys.
Hell no.
That was phenomenal.
반드시 기억하세요. 1. 어려움을 받아들이고 그 또한 내 일부임을 깨달아라. 2. 노동자가 아닌 사상가가 되어라. 3. 돈을 벌기보다 마인드셋을 갖추어라. 4. 스스로 믿지 못하면 다른 사람에게 지배당할 뿐이다. 5. 작은 목표를 이루면서 자신감을 길러라.